for this presentation, and this is take two. I am Michael Shaughnessy, the Chief Operating Officer of Cargo, and we're super excited to announce a new business line, Fabric. Fabric is the platform that simplifies content creation, optimized for user experience and monetization. And today we'll discuss how your content management system is killing your ROI. So first, let's discuss the highest priorities for publishers. And as you can see on this slide, publishers rank their top 3 priorities in 22 as optimizing for Google search or search engine optimization, diversifying their revenue streams, and ad ops and monetization. Publishers' last priority in the survey was infrastructure and design. However, investing in the right infrastructure and design is critical in solving these problems. Publishers should invest in the foundation of their content management system to deliver content and ads as fast as possible. AFAP is no longer a term used to just get our campaigns to deliver. But all kidding aside, publishers should leverage technologies that use modern back-end systems that convert web pages into static HTML, similar to Gatsby as the foundation for their infrastructure. This allows web pages to load lightning fast and crawlers like Google to easily read your content. And as a result, editors know that their content is easily indexed and prioritized by search engines, which gives them the confidence to write quality content. We have experienced increased site traffic and users' time on site, maximizing publishers' return on investment. Now, let's discuss why publishers' content management system should be their best friend, and, I guess pun intended, is the fabric for their success. Publishers need to evaluate the health of their CMS based on many dimensions. Is it secure, or are you leaving your site vulnerable to exploitation? And the reason why this is so important or relevant right now is that just this week, it was announced that there were 2 exploits affecting the popular Facebook plugin. Everyone's using it, right? And it impacted over 500,000 websites. The vulnerability, as it was described, could lead to malicious site takeovers. Some other health metrics to consider are, does your CMS have built-in SEO tools? Does content load quickly? Can you syndicate content easily? And is there a simple workflow to leverage different CMS templates to maximize your revenues? So your CMS should provide monetization strategies, but before we can monetize your content, you need to drive unique eyeballs to have meaningful scale for advertisers. Publishers can receive as much as 60% of their traffic from search. And a hot topic right now with the Google Core Web Vitals becoming more important come May, it really takes speed into account as part of the Core Vitals. Fabric is built taking this into consideration, and the components of the Core Vitals are 1, how the site loads, its interactivity, and the one that ad ops people are stressing over right now is the cumulative layout shift, the visual stability. The average load time on article pages for Fabric is 0.07 seconds. Imagine how quick that is for users. And the Google Lighthouse scores are all 90 out of 100. So we believe that content management system plugins are destroying the consumer experience on the web. Plugins add code that a browser has to load, which causes it to slow down. On the left on the slide, you can see that we illustrate, how the average website could be optimized for speed. Do you realize that more than half of your users will leave your site if it's not loaded within 3 seconds? And to corroborate this data, there's a graph on the right side of the slide, which was put together by Pingdom. Pingdom is a company that measures website performance, and what they have discovered through their analysis is that there's a sharp decline in conversions for retailers as the average site load surpasses 3 seconds. So one of the major retailers has been paying really close attention to this, and that is Walmart. Walmart has invested a lot of resources improving speed as it impacts their bottom line, which should be no different for publishers. Now, let's demonstrate an example of why the consumer experience is important. Market Realist, as you can see on the left side of the screen, is a finance site on the Fabric platform. Notice how the site loads so quickly. It's so fast. And editors are creating engaging content for the consumers to stay on the page. On the right, you can see how the article indexes first in Google News due to Google prioritizing 2 things that really matter: your content quality and how you're surfacing it, but more importantly, or what we believe is more important, speed. We decided, and we think that this is really, really important to the consumer experience, is to have the loads add after content. Why? So that we optimize for the reader and we also optimize for the search engines. Our data shows that publishers increase the lifetime value of their users when content is prioritized, which also impacts their ability in a really positive way to monetize. So, in building a mobile optimized platform for consumers that loads quickly, publishers can compete in that coveted Google search carousel, which has been traditionally reserved for the accelerated mobile pages. As you could see in the Distractify example on the slide, this is a huge, huge, huge win for publishers, as we all know that it's much easier to monetize our owned and operated pages because of the limitations such as creative restrictions in Google AMP. And probably even more important is that publishers want to be able to build a direct connection with their users, to be able to leverage their first-party data and much more. So the question is, how does Fabric help advertisers? Well, before we discuss how Fabric helps advertisers, it's really good for us to understand the revenue priorities of publishing executives. On this slide, we included a Digiday survey which illustrates what publishers were really focused on when it came to maximizing their revenue in 2020. As you can see at the top of the chart, there's a big priority on direct sold ads, programmatic ads, but then there's also a lot of time being spent on building out new revenue channels, which can include subscriptions and affiliate commerce. We all want to diversify, and publishers are no different. And as we noted before, editors can create content within what we call as items within the Fabric CMS that are super flexible. And these items that are easy to input content allow the CMS to lazy load so that they're highly viewable. And since the pages are loading quickly, there's more bandwidth available for performant and immersive ad experience, which are so important when it comes to driving the KPIs everyone cares about: viewability, completion rates, brand recall, and much more. So a modern day CMS should have the flexibility that can be configured by monetization teams. We want this to be easy to set up when it comes to how we're dynamically adjusting ads based on templates, how we're configuring different partners into our header stack, and the way that we integrate native partners, and also too, adjusting items such as our ads.txt, ad refresh logic, and providing custom experiences based on how consumers are coming to your site. So let's discuss the benefits of a comprehensive CMS. Well, first, speed kills competition, right? Fabric eliminates the need for clunky plugins, optimizes speeds, and elevates the experience for both consumers and brands. And as a result, it results in organic growth. Publishers on Fabric have seen over 53% increase in their organic traffic. And when people come to the sites, because they're so quick, they spend more time on them. Time on site increased by 3x. It's really compelling. And in looking at these stats and doing so much extensive A/B testing, we also found that creating these fast loading templates increased pages per session. And when people came to the site, it reduced bounce rates. People wanted to stay, which, for the editorial teams that put so much time into creating their content, this is so critical, or, as we describe for our publishers, mission critical. Now, when you're creating your content, you want to be able to amplify your reach and distribute to other content aggregators easily, such as Newsbreak, Apple News, Flipboard, and Smart News. So it's important for a comprehensive CMS to enable you to syndicate. But lastly, monetization. How do we keep the lights on, right? Speed also impacts your bottom line. And that was not unique just to publishers, but also when it comes to retailers like Walmart. And as pages load more quickly, publishers on Fabric saw a 50% increase in the revenue per session, with an average viewability surpassing 85%. What's also really interesting and worth noting is that both brand lift and recall improved when using full bleed and immersive experiences. But let's see the difference here. On the left, we demonstrate a site that is not optimized for user experience, or could be optimized better, connected to many monetization sources. Look at the asset.txt file. You can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's almost like an infinite scroll experience that publishers have on their pages. In our aggregated data across our network, we see the average publisher has 50% viewability. And it's really important to plug in a few partners so you build relationships with advertisers directly or a few partners that are representing your inventory. Fabric publishers are optimized for user experience, speed, and monetization with fewer partners so you can build those relationships and 85% viewability. Publishers on the platform's article pages routinely score above 90 for Google Page Speed Insights. So, bringing it all together, why does this matter? We believe it's important to bring monetization and publishing together to maximize publishers' revenue today, but it's also about setting the foundation for publishers so they can spend their time building new revenue streams. Diversification is important. Publishers that put user experience and pair their content and their monetization strategies will see an increase in their CMS ROI. There are two distinct technology sets that grow separately, ad tech and content management, the separation of church and state in our industry. We believe it's important to bring monetization and publishing together. Integrating these systems closely together is beneficial to brands, visitors, and publishers' ROI. And when we bring these together, it improves the things that matter to our users. Publisher site load times, improved search results, site usability, contextual advertising opportunities, and performant advertising experiences. So, in talking about this topic about bringing content and monetization together, I want to thank you for coming to today's presentation. If you're learning more about, if you're interested in learning more about Fabric, please come to the tech booth on the tech crawl and join these publishers on the platform today. So thank you all.